BBS. BBS. Blackberg Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Television! Fred Sanford of the Fistic Arts. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.
REED-BBS. BBS. Gervonta Tank Davis. Is Gervonta Tank Davis bullshitting the boxing public? Is Gervonta Tank Davis insulting the collective intelligence of the boxing public? Now, don't get it twisted. Now, don't get your panties in a wad. I'll explain my case. And I'm just asking because inquiring minds want to know. They do. Tank, of course, is 29-0, 27 KOs. He's a one-hitter quitter extraordinaire. Extraordinaire. That's Tank. I ain't telling you nothing you don't know. But the question is Tank ambitious? What does he aspire to be in boxing? What is Tank's motivation? Is it solely money? Look, ain't nothing wrong with being motivated by money. I'm motivated by money. You're motivated by money. And if you're in the hurt business, you get punched in the face for a fucking living. That money needs to be right. That money needs to be right, undoubtedly. But what is Tank's motivation? Is it solely money? Because if it is, just fucking say it. Just say it. And people like me who have these questions will leave you the fuck alone. Belts. Let's start with belts. Factually speaking, Tank has only had one belt, one legitimate belt in one actual weight class. He was the legitimate WBA champion at 130 pounds. No shade there at all. Some of you will say, well, no, what about his WBA lightweight title? What about his WBA super lightweight title? Those belts were secondary titles because the WBA, like other sanctioning bodies, they find that they can get more sanctioning fees the more champions they have. But when Tank won those belts, when he won the WBA title at lightweight, the offshoot title, the little bro belt, as I call it, Vasyl Lomachenko had the real WBA title in the same weight class. And that was a fight that could have easily been made at any given time. Same thing at 140. When I believe he beat Yuriorkis Gamboa, if I'm not mistaken, to become the regular or irregular, super, non-super, I don't know the fucking title, the name, the moniker they put on it, but he was the secondary champ at 35. At 40, he beat Mario Barrios, knocked him out, and that win looks better and better the more Barrios achieves at 147 at welterweight. It does, not knocking the KO at all. But all the while, Josh Taylor was the WBA champion, or that was being settled out between Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. They were actually fighting for the legitimate WBA title, among others, as Tank took the little bro belt. Confusing some of y'all into calling him a three-weight world champion when he is not. And Tank doesn't care. He's cool with that. Hell, since Devin Haney has vacated his undisputed championships at lightweight, they tried to gift. The WBA was like, well, you know what? Since you have the little bro WBA belt, no, we'll go ahead and give you the actual belt. We'll make you the WBA champ. To which Tank responded, I'm not interested. I don't want it. Which means he's not interested in belts. Resume. Tank's resume. We got Jose Pedraza, who he won the aforementioned legitimate 130-pound WBA title belt from. Won it from Pedraza. Leo Santa Cruz, who he knocked out impressively, one-hitter quitter style. Rolly Romero, who he knocked out one-hitter quitter style. Isaac Pitbull Cruz represents the, you want to call it a blemish because Tank didn't knock the motherfucker out. It's not really a blemish, but he went the distance with Tank. So we look at that fight a little differently. scheme of things. And then, of course, Barrios, who I mentioned before. That's the strength of Tank's resume. Oh, and excuse me, the IG model, as some of y'all call him, Ryan Garcia. But see, you'll use Ryan to pump up Tank's resume, but then you'll shit on Ryan on the back end, say he's not a real fighter, he's not this or that. So which is it? I'm here to tell you a resume of Pedraza, Leo Santa Cruz, Rolly, Pitbull Cruz, Barrios, and Ryan. That's not Hall of Fame material. It's not. Which segues me to pound for pound. That's about accomplishments. What have you done? Yeah, Tank is on the list. I believe he's somewhere between 8th, 9th, and 10th on the Ring Magazine and ESPN pound for pound list. What has he done? What is he doing to stay there? What did he do to get there? What is Tank doing to stay there? That's the question. Like, at some point you have to fight if there's other pound for pounders in your weight range, i.e. a Devin Haney, i.e. a Teofimo effing Lopez. What's the what? Why not fight them? Oh, well, Tank's a draw. He's making that money, man. Those fights ain't making no money just yet. Okay. Yeah, Tank's the draw. He is the face. He's the face of boxing currently. Him or Canelo, whichever you prefer. But we gotta keep it real now. We gotta call a spade a spade. We gotta keep it a buck. Tank's pay-per-view with Ryan did 1.2 million views because it was with Ryan. Remind me how many IG followers Ryan has again? I'll wait. Exactly. And the other high-selling pay-per-view of Tank's was against Rolly, where he did like 275K. So you can't just attribute all 1.2 million pay-per-view sales to Tank's popularity and his drawing power. Yeah, he packs venues. People pay money to see him fight in terms of the live gate. And the pay-per-view dollars will be there, but they'll pay that to see Tank fight me or you. It's really like that. But that, again, in terms of his ambition and his motivation, is he really bullshitting the boxing public by simply fighting who he can get away with fighting versus who we want him to fight? You can't have it both ways. Leonard Ellerbe and Floyd, they want it both ways. They bitch about Tank not being ranked high enough on pound-for-pound lists, but they do nothing to help boost his pound-for-pound case to make a stronger case by fighting higher-ranked opposition. Guys in and around his weight range who make for the best fights. Now look, we all love watching Tank fight. None more so than me. But in that sense, he's almost like the Arturo Gatti of today. No, not stylistically. And certainly not in terms of talent. But people loved Arturo Gatti. They loved watching him fight. It wasn't so much about what he accomplished, how many weight classes he dominated, or even who he beat. It was the fact that it was Gotti and you knew what you were getting into. You knew what you were in store for. That's the case with Tank. People watch him because they want to see people get knocked the fuck out. I do too. But in terms of boxing greatness and pound for pound and stacking these chips to boost your Hall of Fame credentials, it's sorely lacking, bruh. It's sorely lacking. So again, I ask, is Tank bullshitting the boxing public? Is he insulting the intelligence of the boxing public? I just stated my case. You tell me yours. Love tap, bitch slap that like button, subscribe and comment. REED-BBS, BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Television! Fred Sanford of the Fistic Arts. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.